Right, hello guys. We will be in a second live with Hybrid Racing for their 13th round of the season at Hungary. Um, Fortunately, I just got kicked, so I was in there ready to start and go, but I've just been kicked out, so I'm just rejoining. Come on. I can't have people have names that start with A, so I ain't got to keep looking down my list all the time. So inconsiderate. Right then, here we go. So they are a little bit into the session already. As you can see there, it's a short qualifying session followed by a 50% race. So let's say they are a little bit into the session already. So apologies for that, but my last race ran over time because it was Singapore and there was about three or four safety cars. Chips looks like he's out on a lap. At the moment then, Daguna in provisional pole 1 of 16.6, Pete 16.7, P2. Chris in 3, Whoopi 4, Volungis 5, Junkie 6, Chip 7, Votes of Defiance 8. You can see the rest of them there. I'm not going to just read out them all. We are with Chips at the moment, who is currently on a lap. Jewish Boy's joined. If I remember rightly, he had some connection issues last week, but I feel for him because I have had nothing but connection issues this week, all week. Actually, until today. I know I got kicked out then, but that was probably because I was on Switch sorting things out, so it does that sometimes. Today, I don't seem to be having any issues that I've had all week, so hopefully it's all sorted. Just coming around the hairpin then. Then he will take the final corner, which is also a hairpin as well. It's not the exact type of hairpin you used to know, or we're used to knowing as a hairpin, but it is one nonetheless. And 4.5 improvement for Chips puts him into P4. Valungis has invalidated. Hunter's just started, so let's go with him. As I was late, I best get the boss man on a lap, otherwise he'll never forgive me. Just while he's doing this thing now, I'm just going to get the stream open so I can see any comments. Right, there we are. Stream as well. If anybody wants comments, thanks to you that joined already. Lovely. So Mr. Hunter then is invalidated. Of course he's invalidated. I was looking away from the screen. Oh, that's a new name. Licorious. Licorious or Lycorious. Licorious, depending where he's from. It could be Lefcorious. Or Licorice. Or if he's a double L, he could be Claforious. That's how they speak in Wales. He's invalidated anyway now, so let's go down to Slick Willy. I'm talking that long now since 5 PM that... Right, stop in. It's my brain no longer knows what it's saying. So we've got ourselves a bit of Slick Willy now. Currently sat in P14 on a 19.2. What are you talking about, Hunter? What's your mouth done? What did I say? I was just saying that I ought to. I meant it nicely. I should stay with you because I was a bit late. I ought to stay with you and watch your lap. Not my fault you invalidated. 10th up then, Mr. Slick Willy. Slight improvement. He needs to find more if he's to gain any places. Out of the final corner, heads to the line. 119.4 actually doesn't improve, nearly 2 temps down. So, Jewish boy actually with us now and out on the laps. Let's see. Jewish boy don't do a. Going on to speed up, yeah. Why, where's your teammate? Mr. Hunt, you have got a teammate. Small loss. What are you talking about? That's not very nice to Small Loss, is it? Making out as if he's not there. Chris retires from the... Slick Willie has retired from the session. He didn't slip that one in very well. Jewish boy. Lots of people on outlaps at the moment. I will try and get a hilly hot lap for the end. See if I can pick someone that's listening to it at the same time. Oh, and Jewish boy leaves the session. He's in, out. Shake it all about. So, who we got coming around? Who's this? This is Sam. Sorry, Sam. I'm sure I've done... Right. No. His outlap just disappeared, Lacorius, so I thought he was starting a hot lap. I'll try and do a hilly hot lap with somebody who I've not done it with before, ideally. And Lycorius would suit that, so as long as he crosses the line again, actually, which he is going to, we'll do a hilly hot lap with Lycorius. Heading down to turn 1 then, gear down to third usually. Lycorius uses second, opens it up, gets on the DRS very nicely, but it's on the power nicely. Heads down to turn 3, late apex, late braking, late apex, it's quite late, will help you get on the power on the exit. Take a very direct line over the curb, head up to this very fast left. You've got to be brave through here, and he's a bit tentative to be honest, that would have lost him a few temps. Into the right hand, keeps it nicely into the curb, but doesn't touch it. Do not touch that curb, it will spin you immediately. Through the chicane, missed the sausage curves is what you need to do. He caught the first one. Round to the left, round to the right. Just take those corners, it's all about getting on the power out of them. Take as much speed through that corner. It was again a bit tentative. It's all in all, it is a good lap though. So heads into the penultimate corner. Again, don't really want to be touching that inside. He did, but it didn't seem to affect him, so that's okay. Finally, don't touch the inside curb. Open up the steering, get on the power, open your DRS, head for the line, go 4 attempts quicker than you've been before, and up into P9. Just to say that, Hunter shoots up to P6, although it gets knocked straight back down again. Whoopi goes fastest and potentially takes pole. Beats has invalidated. Small loss. Into the final corner, he's slightly down at the end of sector 2. Has he managed to gain anything back? No. Loses a couple of attempts. Let's just go to Chips. He is still on a lap, but he's 6.8 seconds down. So unless some sort... Oh, and Sam actually. Sam, no, he's into the pits. So unless by some miracle Chips makes up 7 seconds in the final sector, which he doesn't, he heads to the pits. That is the end of qualifying. And even being late to qualifying, I still managed to get a hilly hot lap in, so there we go. All's good. Well, that what off-putting. I'm assuming that meant to say was. Well, that was off-putting. What, me doing a hilly hot lap? I wasn't even on board with you. And you should be listening, should you? Not while you're driving. Anyway, that's the end of qualifying. Whoopi has taken pole position. Daguna in P2. Pete in P3. Down the rest when they come up. Pete P3, Chips P4, Chris 5, Junkie 6, Flungus 7, Hunter 8, Sam 9, Lacorius 10, Fate of Defiance 11, Lismore in 12, Small Loss 13, Twiglet 14, Slick Willy in 15 and Jewish Boy 16. So if we could keep them for the actual race. There's a list of the incidents. It doesn't look like there's anything that stewards would need, but just in case, there they are. Now, I'm so glad to say that this league does take a little break, so I can have my first break in 3.5 hours of streaming and commentating. So, here we go. Yeah, exactly, Fatal. He has got a teammate anyway. Small Loss is his teammate. Unbelievable. It's very mean on Small Loss, to be honest. Anyway, I'm going to get coffee and roll myself a cigarette as well, so I'll be back shortly. Guys, he's back, and they are off on their formation lap. As you can see, it's a 50%. Here at Hungary. In terms of strategy, it's not a hard circuit to choose a strategy on. It is medium to hard, hard to medium. That is the fastest way you will get around this track. Doing either of those strategies. Technically, the medium is the fastest. Really, I'm just trying to find where's the tyres? There you go. So, top 7 in on mediums. There's always one smart arse that thinks going with softs is a good idea. And out. So, Hunter on softs, mediums for Sam and Lycorius, Fatal on hards, mediums, hards for Twiglet, and mediums at the end as well. So just get that back to position change just to help with the start. Let's perhaps get rid of for the start. Not that it's going to give me a good camera angle in a way. It's going to give me a horrendous camera angle. So let's go on board with Pete and P3. All lights on, all lights out. And the two drivers ahead of us seem to react very well. And look at the Ferrari coming down the right-hand side. Jewish boy rejoins again. Into turn one we go then. And that is the start of the race. Is everybody getting through? It does look like everybody's gotten through absolutely fine at the start, so that's good news. Just get that back up. So, as you can see, that charging Ferrari on the start was Junkie Emperor. He's up 3 places. Chips and Sam side by side. I think it was Chips and Sam. It's definitely Chips in a way. Oh, we've got someone falling down. It's Chris. He was out of spin. Down to the back. There's lots of fighting going on here. Jewish boy does appear to be back with us. Smallest run. What's going on here? There's a lot of position changes happening. And yeah, that's why Smallest run. I had a feeling it might have been a damage thing. So into the pits for Smallest. Chris didn't need to pit, so he carries on. Let's have a look then. So the Gunnar very much still on the back of Whoopi at this point. Pete very close to Junkie, but Junkie is just dropping off the 2 leaders slightly. He's falling out to 1 second. I've been promised by the Ferrari guys that they will not be just parading around and getting the best result for Ferrari today. They will be looking to battle each other now to the end of this championship, I believe. Oh, and it looks like Smallhouse is in trouble again. That's turn 1. But he's up and running again. Gone soft tyres. Be hoping really for a safety car now. It's getting back into it. He's a good half a lap down actually, yeah, so definitely going to be wanting a safety car ideally. The line that activates DRS, so they won't have it just here, and they won't have it on the straight either. So it'll be the next lap effectively. There are only 2 DRS zones around Hungary, so effectively it'll be the next lap that they activate. Softs. For fuck's sake. So, looks pretty steady at the front at the moment, so let's just see if we can catch some action somewhere else. Hunter at the moment on the back of Pete. Actually, Hunter starting on those soft tyres. Oh, Sam! He spun it. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems darker than it was earlier. Oh, so I do wonder if we're expecting some rain. Or even if we weren't expecting it, are we going to get it? Sam seems to have covered it in a way. Let's go back to Hunter. So really on the back of Pete at the moment. So Sam actually made a place back up after. Let's go down to that because they're clearly side by side. So Sam trying to get back ahead of Slick Willie. And that he does. So back to P10 pretty quickly for Sam, but he's got some time to make up to catch Twiglet, who is running, as you can see, very close to the back of Lismore. So, Hunter's still very much on the back of Pete, but Pete has caught Chips. So, that's just going to make things that much more difficult for Hunter. Let's go on board. Yeah, so, say Pete will have the DRS as well, making this very, very difficult. And there's a little battle going on, actually. I hadn't noticed that, but they are side by side here. So this is Chips and Junkie Emperor for P3. Going into turn 3. And Chips has come out on top. So up into third goes Chips. So that now makes us Mercedes-Ferrari for the top 4. Great view. I do like that camera angle through the chicane. You get to really see how they hit the chicane, if they hit it right or not. It's beautiful when you got the multiple cars running one after the other. So I think we're in the place to be at the moment. This battle of 4. There are other little battles going on. Swiglet's still right on the back of Lismore. Sam behind him is Slick Willy and Fate of Defiance on the back of him. Unfortunately, I think Small Loss has just had another little mishap. He's currently in P15. He's not running it back anymore. Vicorious has dropped down, unfortunately. Hunter gets a little nudge for his efforts there, but ultimately does get ahead of Pete. Oh, he's giving the place back, I think. It's, I don't know why he's giving that place back, though, to be honest. It looked to me like Pete made a mistake and Hunter pounced on it. I'm not too sure why he felt he needed to give it back. But, that's what he's done. But that spinner, unfortunately, I think, is Small Loss, who's back down to the back of the field now. Oh, he's round again. Small Loss not enjoying his time at Hungary whatsoever this evening. So Whoopi still leads from the Gooner. As you can see, the Gooner's still very close. It doesn't at the moment have an answer to the Mercedes. Still early doors. Whoopi very much able to keep hold of his ERS as well. I don't know. The Gooner ultimately, I'd be half tempted if I was the Gooner here, I'd be half tempted to say, do you know what, I'm not even going to try and overtake. I'm just going to follow him round. I won't use any energy. I'm just going to let my energy go all the way back to full, or as close as it can get. And I'm going to try and get him under the pit stops. That's what I'd be looking at. A Small Loss in the end. I'm wondering, actually, he had so many spins there, I'm wondering he may well have picked up some rear wing damage or something early doors, that's causing that. So Chips is just nudged out of the 1 second to the second Ferrari. Just go off the position changes now, go back to tyres. See, they're all on mediums. That sector 1 yellow is just, unfortunately, Small Loss's car coming back onto the straight. Coming back onto the track, I mean. And it will retire just coming out of turn 1, I would imagine. It'll just drive off track. Oh no, he's going to go a bit further through turn 2. Now he has just stopped. So, a retired car in the pits. Even though it comes back on the track, it doesn't cause safety cars. So, see, ultimately, we do prefer not to see anyone retire in the pits, please make it to the end of the race, but if you have got severe damage which is making it really, really difficult to drive the car and potentially could be dangerous for other drivers, then it is understandable. So Lismore gets ahead of Sam. Has he got ahead of Sam? No, I think he's just defended off Sam there. So it remains P9. Still, get back to this battle though. Hunter's softs do seem to still be holding on. They can't be far off going off the other end now. So, ultimately, I'm kind of guessing that Hunter's looking to do a soft to hard. That's Pete. Down the outside of Junkie Emperor into turn 1. And up into P4. Oh, Junkie Emperor's car just jumping about a bit at the moment. As Sam gets ahead of Lismore, that'll appear now. Not still side by side, so looks like Sam's got that move done. And now Slick Willie's going to see if he can do the same. So, well, Pete, ideally, now he's got past Junkie Emperor, will be hoping to pull out a gap. Get out of that DRS range of Hunter. Hunter must be approaching pit stop territory. But I guess while he's sticking to the back of these cars and is leeching their DRS, there's no real reason for him to pit while he's doing that. Although notably Volungus has, as you can see, joined the back of this now. So he has been able to catch them. Oh, my apologies, I completely missed it, but Daguna has taken the lead off of Whoopi, so he didn't hold back, he's gone for it, he's taken the lead, but he's also picked up a penalty. So I'm guessing pit stop wise is something in the region of 16 on mediums, 19 on hards. Maybe 15 and 20. It's going to be something around those sorts of lines. Oh, and we got our first actual on-track retirement. Is it going to cause a safety car? It does. It's a full safety car. Well, that will surely see an exodus. Well, it's going to see an exodus to hard tyres. It has to. This is a nightmare for anybody that started on hards. It's a nightmare for Lismore, who picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. But as I said, it's just what is going on? He appears to have just picked up a second drive-through penalty. I'm not sure how he's managed to do that, but here they are then. They're all coming in. All of them. Look at that. Top 6 now, all on hards. Swiglet is in third, but he's on 10 lap old hards. That's what I mean. It's a nightmare for the hard starters. Swiglet opting to stick to the initial plan, which presumably would be hard to medium. He may try and push him out to hard to soft, but he is going to come under fire though on this restart. Plato's also stuck with it. It's hard to know what you do, isn't it? I think I'd have been probably come in and put the mediums on, but yeah, it's really hard to know what to do in this situation. So, Victorious is the driver at the back. He's not actually that far back, so from Sleep Willy down, needing to catch the back of the safety car, but the safety car is going to do another lap after this one. Potentially these guys might all be caught up by then. I don't know. Actually, I've just realised Lycorius is the car behind the one I was looking at, so it's got a bit further to go than I realised, but still not that bad. So I'm assuming the Gooner's penalty is a free second. It is indeed. So fatal pits. I think ultimately that's sensible from Fatal. It's hard to know, isn't it? It's what else can he do? Stay out on the hards, then have to pit when everybody else goes to the end. It's at least by doing it this way, you need a new wing anyway, so he needed to pit. So fair enough. But at least by doing it this way, you can still be competitive, and you don't know what's going to happen later in the race. There could be another safety car which changes everything again. At least he can be competitive for the moment. Oh! And handily, Lycoria spun in front of him just to give him a place back. Sorry, Lycoria, I didn't mean to laugh, but that was quite funny. So, in a way, Lycorius pretty much on the back now, so the safety car, we should see it come up pretty quickly. The safety car will come in this lap. Quite on the back yet. Fury's up. There he is. And there's the message. So, the Gooner will lead us away from Whoopi. Then Twiglet, as you can see, in P3, he's the one that's on the 11 lap old hards. Oh, Twiglet gets off to a really poor start. Although, saying that, I think he actually gave the place up. So, he's allowed his teammate Pete through into P3 so that he can try and stay with the top two. Chris and Jewish Boy lose places. There has been something happened at the start. My apologies. Let's get down there. So for whatever reason, Chris, Chips and Jewish Boy, something's happened between the three of them, I think, and they've fallen down to the back. Lycorius now up to P11. Fatal, though, up to P10, so actually not far off where he was in a way before pitting on the safety car. So ultimately, that's worked out for him. And that yellow flag is Jewish Boy. The front two really in a battle together here. Oh, Lismore's had to come in. What a shame for Lismore. As we know, there's a long way to go. Lots can happen. Certainly not out of anything yet. As Hunter and Junkie Emperor battling away. It looks like Hunter's come out on top of that one. So he stopped to the medium tyres in the pit stops. I honestly don't know. Is he struggling? I can't see any obvious damage on his car. He's usually one of the fastest guys on track. Maybe having a bit of issue getting his tyres up to temperature, maybe. Not sure. Let's continue on in a way. Maybe he just had a little moment or something. Goes without saying, really, that Hunter's going to want to get past Twiglet as quick as he possibly can. If he's done his checks, he'll know, well, he should get a run here, surely. With the extra grip those mediums have got, he's going to be able to outbrake into turn 1. Well, he didn't, but Twiglet struggled a bit round the outside with a less grip, so still there. Ultimately, Hunter, I think, was able to carry a lot more speed into the left-hander at turn 3, and that has granted him P4. So, anyway, what I was going to say before that battle occurred, I actually don't know if these guys can get to the end on mediums. They might be really tough towards the end, but I think potentially they could push them out. They may be very slow at the end, as I say. And Jewish Boy is out of the race, and that is going to be another full safety car. Well, decisions. Surely people on fresh hard stay out. What will Hunter do? He stays out. What about Fatal? He stays out as well. I mean, if it was a bit sort of iffy as to whether they can make it to the end or not, safety cars, the slower laps to complete a couple of laps or something can obviously help to get them to the end. Twiglet did pit, so he's on to fresh mediums, and he will come out. I think he's going to get out ahead of Lismore. It's really tight, but I think he will. Yeah, there he is. So he comes out in P12, but with fresh mediums on, so he's not in a bad position really. Probably liked a few more laps before that safety car coming out, so that he could have just come out a bit higher up the field, but ultimately that's not done him any real harm there. See, now I'm confident that he can get his mediums to the end from here, so bearing in mind we'll probably do... I don't think the safety car will come in this lap. Everybody's caught up, the whole field's caught up already, but the safety car doesn't usually do one lap and then come in. So I am expecting it to go again. But yeah, for Hunter and Fatal, it's just decisions now of whether they think they can get to the end or not, really. I'm hungry. Over the years of online racing. Hello, Mr. Well, Mr. Bossman. How the devil are you? Yeah, over the years, Hungary has been a hard wear track for tyres, but not so much this season. Not as it was last year on 21 in a way. But it's also been prone to safety cars, primarily through people losing it on themselves. It's not usually because of collisions. It's usually people catching one of the sausage curbs or one of the curves of death and getting spun round on themselves and hitting the wall. I'm very well too, Mr. Well. On my final commentary for the evening. halfway through the race. Seen some good racing tonight. Enjoyed the kids league earlier on at 5 p.m. It was final 4 races of their season. It was good fun. And a difficult race at 6 p.m. around Singapore. Safety cars unfortunately overran into this one. But, we only missed the start of qualifying, and all in all, the driving on track so far, the actual battles have been really good so far in this race. It's only individual mistakes which have caused safety cars. So this is our second safety car. Let's hope it's the last. This track has always been the same. It's technically one of the most difficult tracks of the season. So the Gunner goes. Whoopi has stayed very close to him. Close enough to make a move. We will see. Unfortunately, Chris has spun it on the final corner. Oh, and Lismore's been disqualified for ignoring his drive-through penalty. Oh, that's harsh. But he could have come in then. That's why it's counted as a lap, because he could have come in. But it is harsh. We feel from there. So... Oh, now we've lost Fatal as well. Over on the right, that usually suggests that he's caught the left-hander curve. I'm going to be really shocked if we don't get a full safety car here. Doesn't look like it's gonna. It's just gonna have the yellow flag, but just a bit surprised at that. So much happening in one go. Usually the game resorts to a safety car when there's that much happening. Doesn't look like we're going to. Unlucky to those guys we just lost. Fatal unlucky. Lismore very unlucky on that being disqualified thing. It's, we continue on, we march on, and ultimately for Whoopi, doesn't necessarily have to win this race on track, just needs to stay close enough to the Gunner. He'd like to win on track, there's no doubt about that. He'd like to get past the Ferrari and actually win on track, but he doesn't have to risk it if he can just stay within the 3 seconds. Hence one of our newer drivers, the second. Our new drivers today, Lycorius. See from his little picture next to his name, he's one of the guys driving on PC, along with Chips. You know, in all the races I've covered with cross-play enabled, I have not seen so far a non-Xbox player win a race. Now admittedly it's normally just one driver on PC or one driver on PlayStation or something like that, but so the odds are against them, but yeah, so far I've not seen it, as DRS is re-enabled and we have Hunter making a move on the inside of Pete. He's got it done before the break-in. And that was without DRS, mind. DRS is activated again, but you won't have it here. It'll be the next lap that they actually get to use it. Chips has had to pit. So it's gone on to softs. Most likely because he probably didn't have anything else available to him. I'm going to nip down to Twiglet. It's caught the back of Lycorius. I'll say it again, I do love that view through the chicane. I didn't realise something like that had happened. Fatal. I'm sure it will, mate. I don't have a look on the sign up, see how many have signed up. I don't think it's full. But, yeah, good to hear you're good as well, man. As Hunter sets fastest lap of the race. Oh! Damn! Look, I was reading the comments and hadn't realised that something's happened to Whoopi. And he's dropped down to P7. Oh, I'm so going to get blamed for that. After saying that all he needs to do is stick within the 3 seconds of the Gooner, I'm so going to get blamed for that. Proper commentator's curse again. Formula 1 drivers do love to blame anyone but themselves, and commentators normally number one on the list to blame, so I'll definitely get the blame for that. If he does make one up, though, it's back up ahead of Slick Willy. Slick Willy not putting up a hard defence. I'm here every night, guys. It's, I'm just putting Pete under some pressure. Do you realise if Hunter can go to the end and he ends up P2, or even, God forbid, winning this race, after taking a piss of him starting on softs around here, I'm going to get it in the neck. I shall have to say it's a strategy masterclass. Strategy. Twiglet still on the back of Slick Willy a bit further down. Just debating to stick with this just this moment as Chips puts in fastest lap of the race, having moved to fresh softs. Corius picks up a penalty. Still hanging on, like Corius. Running around in P9 now. Doing himself proud. I think ultimately... Oh, look at this. I really am the worst for commentators' curses there's ever been. I mean, how's he binned it over there? That's clearly my fault. That is absolutely ridiculous. Right, anybody, 20 quid. If you want a particular driver to go out the race, 20 quid, PayPal it to me, and I'll say something nice about him on commentary. So when they come in away, Daguna to softs, Hunter to softs. I assume Twiglet's doing the same. Chris in as well. Yeah, Twiglet's to softs. Well, lots have stayed out on the hards, but they're going to get eaten up if they don't pit. Chris to softs. We got half the field on worn hards. We got half the field on fresh softs. Chips pits as well. Why on earth wouldn't he? Zit the back in away. Stick a fresh set of boots on. He actually could have stayed out and done this the next lap. Well, he's actually gone back to the hards. Have done 9 laps. So maybe that is what he's going to do. Perhaps he's going to absolutely fire around now on these hards as fast as he can to catch the gap up. But there's no way you catch the back of the safety car. So just go around as fast as he can. And then put softs on the next time round. We know that these guys on softs can get to the end. We know this because Hunter started on them. And he was on 10 laps. He'd done 10 laps when the safety car came out and he pitted. And he wasn't looking slow at that point. He was sticking with the car in front. No real issues in doing that either. So we know these guys can get to the end from Hunter's earlier stint. It's never easy getting through a field, particularly of 5 drivers, but It's very hard to see these guys on 13 lap worn hards holding off fresh soft drivers for very long. I mean, Pete, I don't know if he knows that 4 other drivers stayed out on worn hards behind him. If he does, he's going to be on cloud 9 because he's got effectively 4 defenders between him and the nearest soft tire guy, and that soft tire guy's got a penalty, so Valungus ain't going to make himself easy to get past. Whoopi's certainly not going to make himself easy to get past. Slick Willy having a penalty may not be too worried about putting up a fight. Junkie Emperor, okay. Ferrari have promised me that they're going to fight, but in this scenario, if his teammate comes up on the back of him with fresh softs on, I can't imagine he's going to put up too much of a fight. A couple more messages, so fair enough, Fatal. I do understand if something's got. I didn't see it, so, but obviously if something's gone wrong, I know it gets to me as well, so I do understand. Lismore, yeah, it's unlucky. It's one of those, doesn't it? Where it does the lap when the safety car come in count, and unfortunately it does. As soon as it goes green, you can go into the pits and take your drive through. So it's difficult, but yeah, it is annoying though, man. I get that. Right, it's just here we go. Whoopi up the inside of Junkie Emperor into turn 1. Oh, this was important for Whoopi actually, because that Ferrari was likely to hold him up as best it could. Now, will the Ferraris do a switch? Or will they stay true to their word and battle? The honest truth is, I wouldn't blame them for switching on this scenario. But, Junkie Emperor doesn't look in a hurry to get out of his way, so perhaps they are going to battle. To be fair, there's not a great amount of places to actually move, so yeah, I think that's as good as a switch. I don't think that was really an overtake. I think that was Junkie maybe slightly lifting. To be fair to Junkie, Laguna might think, why didn't do it earlier? Actually, that was probably the first safe place he reached to do it on, so De Gunner will go after Whoopi now. Whoopi in turn is going to try and get past Valungus as Hunter gets ahead of Slick Willy. Oh, and we got Twiglet round. Somehow he's avoided damage on that. I think Slip Willy must have had a moment there because Chips has gotten ahead and disappeared there. Okay, anyway, up to De Gunner. So, De Gunner obviously mighty quick on these softs at the moment. But at the same time, it's difficult. He's going to want to get past Whoopi, of course he is. But Whoopi's the closest to him in terms of challenging for the championship. But at the same time, Whoopi's so close to the back of Valungus, but it kind of makes it difficult for De Gunner to do anything at the moment. Close he's got to be careful, De Gunner. Whoopi having a look down the outside of Valungus, and De Gunner's going to look to follow. Gunner's going to cut back. Oh. They're both going to get past. Oh, Whoopi would have really liked Volungus to stay in the middle of the two of them. So in a way, Whoopi up to P2, the Gooner P3. And Whoopi will know the longer he holds the Gooner back, the less likely the Gooner's going to be able to pull out a 3-second gap to him. After he gets past, as Twiglet picks himself up a penalty. Oh, shame to see Twiglet spin and end up down in P10. He's had a really good race today. Pete's done what Pete does. He's currently leading this race, having barely even been noticed throughout, to be honest. He's a good drive, is Pete. So here goes the Gooner inside of Whoopi. Really not anything Whoopi can do other than try and hold on to him. Hunter and Volungus also battling. Hunter at the inside into turn 3. Yeah, I thought there was contact, that's why I quickly nicked onto the other camera, but oh, the Gooner's out! Oh, the Gooner spun it! Added a left-hander! Oh, we're not going to get to see him again. Oh, that's Twiglet spins as well. Oh my god, there's scenes in Hungary. Goulash all round. Well, remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. So sorry for the Gooner. He was obviously pushing, as he knew he had to make up the 3 seconds as well. Well, all the hard guys are coming in, but ultimately they're going to drop to the back. With the exception of Slip Quilly. Well, because so many have pitted, actually, Whoopi's going to come out P4. So Hunter now leads, and he is on softs, albeit 6-lap old. But actually, half of those laps are under safety car. Chips is still... I will not move off of these hards. I shall not be moved. Stays on the hards, and again he will get swallowed up on the restart. It's not going to be a long safety car. It'll do another lap after this, but I suspect it will come in at the end of lap 30. Take into account where Slip Willy is, it's not going to take him too long to catch up. Check those penalties. Oh, Junkie's got 5 seconds. He's gonna... Well, he needs to pit again, doesn't he? There's no point in sticking with 6th if you've got a 5-second penalty. You may as well come in and serve it. But then has he got the tyres to actually go to? That's the question. If you ain't got tyres to go to, actually, it's turning into a nightmare for Ferrari. Sorry, excuse me. So as I said, the safety car is going to stay out. So surely Junkie pits. I really don't understand him staying out unless, as I say, if he's got no other tyres to go to, I suppose ultimately he's got no choice but to stay out and hope he can create enough of a gap over the guys behind, especially the other two with penalties. So let's just double check that. So yeah, that's what I thought. So Twiglet and Slip Willy have got 3 seconds each. Well, truth be told, it is damage limitation now for Ferrari. As best that Junkie Emperor can do, but ultimately, such is their lead in the constructors. They could do this about 5 times and still be leading the championship, so it doesn't ultimately matter. So, away we go. Whoopi gets ahead of Pete. Whoopi back up into P3. Again, it's allowed pass by his teammate. So, Flungus spun. As is Junkie. That just goes past him. Didn't look like it was the same incident. They were quite a bit apart, so I don't think that was an incident between the two. Just so happened they spun reasonably close together. This is Pete then, who's on the back of Chips. I can't be certain, but I would imagine the lap time between Chips, like the delta time between Chips' hard tyres after 17 laps and Pete's soft after 2 laps is probably in the region of 1.5 to 2 seconds a lap. So here he goes, he's going to have so much more grip, easy overtake up the inside into turn 1. But ultimately, Merc will take this. Whatever Chips can hold on to, and you've got to think that probably that is 5th place. Assuming Chris gets past Chips, because Twiglet and Slick Willy have the penalties, you'd think the case would be that he could hold on to 5th. And ultimately, it's going to be great result for Merc. So this is 3 lap hard, 3 lap, soon to be 4 lap old soft tyres against 10 lap old soft tyres. Even though a multitude of the laps that Hunter's done on those softs have been under safety car, they still would have picked up a bit of wear. So you've got, if we're absolutely honest here, Whoopi's bound to be favourite, but see what Hunter could do. Well, in the end, Whoopi didn't even need to wait for DRS to activate. But regardless of that, Hunter, I've got to give it to the lad. He's driving an absolutely fantastic race this evening. He will oh. Chris ends up round. Well, depending on whether that's adjudged to be Chip's fault in any way, I don't know. I didn't see it well enough to think it was. I'm just saying that if it may enable him to hold on to P4, as it looks like Chris's round again. So Junkie's back into the pits and he's stuck on softs. I presume he's going to go for the fastest lap. Let's gain that extra point. Hunter just falling out to 1 second now to a Pete. He would have liked to have kept it in there if he could, because it would just help him to stop Pete catching him. But he's got a 2 second lead over Pete, so I think he can probably manage that. But ultimately it does look that Whoopi's going to march to victory this evening. You would think now that we're approaching the final lap, about 1 1/4 laps to go, but Chips has probably done enough now to hold on to P4, to say, depending on any, well, for all the positions it's depending on any investigations from stewards and that, so goes Twiglet, getting ahead of Chips. 3 seconds in a lap, can he do it? It's pretty much our only thing going on. I suppose Valungus actually is on the back of Slick Willy. But again, he doesn't need to overtake. There's no point in him overtaking. Just following him round. There's, oh, well now there is, because he's just picked himself up a 3 second penalty. What a nightmare. Oh, he'd be annoyed at himself for that. Guaranteed to gain an extra place, and possibly even 2. Picks up a 3 second penalty, meaning he might not get either. As Junkie does set fastest lap with 1:18.7. A very fine race lap. But we must go to the top as Whoopi comes out the final corner. We're supposed to be P2. Oh, hang on. I think we're getting a timing glitch going on, guys. Now it's migrating host. What's going on? I think I might have just got kicked at the death. Yeah, I think I've just been kicked from the session right at the death, guys, unfortunately. And I think there was a timing glitch on my screen. So I thought it was strange because Hunter crossed the line and the checkered flag didn't come up next to his name. And then all of a sudden, the driver started jumping all over the place. So I would not take my positions as the correct positions. But ultimately, I'm going to be loved by one man in HRF1 this evening and hated by everybody else as I give my drive of the day to Hunter for a fantastic drive resulting in a P2. With a shout out to Whoopi, who's had to fall down the order when pitting and make his way back through a couple of times. So, fair play to him as well on the victory. But